Welcome to Punky's World. This is Dark Side of the Ring review, The Sandman. Next week will be, well, I'll get there. Anyway, it was interesting. And I found him to be honest, humble, likable. He didn't try to BS you in any way. He was very honest, forthright, straightforward. This is what I did. This is how I screwed up. All of it. And I personally appreciate that. He is a recovering addict and alcoholic. From what I gathered, he's recovering. He was very much a family man. But he went to WCW and he ended up taking steroids, which caused him to do things to his wife and family that even drunk and on pain pills he didn't do. He was not a mean person to his family. He just wasn't. And he used steroids, and of course that changes your hormonal system, and it causes you to not be a very nice person. For some people, alcohol can do that. So, I was looking at a picture behind you. For him, the steroids just was too much. And so they talked about the storyline in ECW where they involved his son. And his son talked about it. He said, when I started doing that, I was 6 years old. I didn't have a clue. But he was a good little actor, and he took good direction. It was just a little bit weird because they would have to meet up somewhere where there were no fans and get in the car and go home, you know, because they couldn't be seen together, the whole kayfabe thing, you know. And they were still married, him and Lori at the time. Even though they called her his ex-wife on camera, they were still technically married. So, later on they did divorce after the whole steroid mess. They also had a daughter. They got married before the daughter was born because he didn't want her born out of wedlock, which I thought was sweet. Most guys don't think that way, you know. For one of the earliest things he said to her was, I think I could love you. I mean, he's really a sweetheart. I remembered when Raven did the whole thing where he tied him to a cross and whatnot. And Kurt Angle went crazy. He said, look, I'm a Christian. I'm not going to go out and follow that. I'm just not going to do it. You're not going to see me on TV with that. And so Paul tried to push it off on them as per Paul's usual. And yeah, so not good. And Todd Gordon said, you know, you pass a drug test, you don't belong in ECW. You know, because it was kind of the opposite of everything else, you know. But, and of course Rob Van Dam was talking about somebody giving him mushrooms and he put the bag in the locker and was going to come back and take them after the match, but the Sandman ended up eating the whole bag. So when we say mushrooms, we're not talking about mushrooms that you put on top of your pizza here. We're talking hallucinogenic drugs, illegal drugs. So just so we're clear. And his name in WCW and in WWE, Hack, was actually his nickname from the time he was 5 years old. His name is James Fullington. I give Tyler a lot of credit. Tyler does wrestle today, from what I've read, as Sandstorm or something like that. I forget, but he does wrestle. They didn't mention it, but they just mentioned how good an actor he was, and Raven talked about, because Raven's also a recovering addict, been very open about his struggles, and he said, you know, I could be drunk or stoned or something and totally forget the line, you know, high as a kite, and not give him his cue, and he would still hit the line every time right on the mark. He would hit his mark and hit his line right on time every time. So I don't know how he did it, but you know, because Paul Heyman, when they first started, Paul Heyman wanted like Macaulay Culkin to play his son, and he said, "Why? He's right in the van. Just talk to Tyler." So his parents talked to him, explained to him what was going to happen. I don't know that I liked the idea. I never liked the idea of him being involved at such a young age. Even though you know the difference between reality and pretend at 6, it's hard to separate the two at 6. You know what I mean? So I think there's just like something, you know. And I don't know what was going on with Rob Van Dam, but boy, was his face like puffy. I don't want to say swollen, but it was very puffy. His whole face and his lips, he was just puffy. I don't know if anybody else noticed that. And Sabu was, I can't believe this word is about to come out of my mouth following the word Sabu. But Sabu was normal. Yeah, I can't believe I put the two words together. Still, that sentence has never been uttered before. Sabu was normal. Whoever said that before? But yeah, he was. So, let's see. Bill Alfonso was on there. Of course, Lori was on there. Both the kids. The censors had their work cut out for them. Beep, beep, boop, boop, beep, beep, boop, 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 beep, beep, all over the place. So, kind of had to know that when it was an ECW themed show that the censors were going to have their work cut out for them with the beep, beep, boop, boop, beep, beep everywhere. So, yeah. Overall, I thought it was, like I said, an honest look, an honest take on the situation. One of the best ones done. You know, they didn't sugarcoat anything. Like I said, there was no BS, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the honesty, the heart that it came from. You know, he honestly came across like he really wanted to help others not make some of the mistakes that he made in his life and in wrestling. And he talked about what happened in his marriage, and he said, the end of it was my fault. Everything was completely my fault. Lori is an angel, which is kind of, nice to say. And you could tell because that he was these were his real feelings when he was talking, because he was looking straight at you. That's something I have a hard time with, not because I'm not a truthful person, but I'm told that and I didn't know this, but as part of my diagnosis, I was told that when you have autism, you have a hard time maintaining eye contact. I've always had a hard time maintaining eye contact. And I try very hard. But it's a very difficult thing for me. It does not come naturally. So when I see someone maintaining eye contact with a camera, as if maintaining eye contact with whoever's behind it, that's a good thing. If someone's maintaining eye contact with someone else, or trying to maintain eye contact with me, that's a good thing. Because I was always taught that that's a good thing. It never came natural to me. So. And now I know why. So. I would highly recommend the episode. I give the episode an A, for sure. And guys, starting in a couple of weeks, they will be doing a 4-part series, Who Killed WCW. I will be reviewing it. I'll be taking notes on each part, because I'll never remember all 4 parts if I don't, and review it all at once at the end. Next week will be Black Saturday, when Vince McMahon attempted to take over the Crockett time slot on TBS, which went over like a lead balloon. Or as my father used to say, fart in a spacesuit. I love you, Daddy, and your daddyisms. Yeah, it did not go over well at all. So that will be next week, and that will be the season finale. Like I said, that WCW one is coming up. So we'll definitely be doing that. I'll do it all at once at the end of the 4 weeks. So I'll be taking lots of notes and letting you know. I'll take notes and note week 1 notes, week 2 notes, week 3 notes, and week 4 notes for my own organization. Then I'll come back and I'll do a review. So look forward to that. Next up, we are going to do a little switcheroo in this room. So I might not even have to unplug that to do it. Then we're going to edit and get things ready so that I can go to Bible study and have everything done before I go. That's the plan. And don't forget to check out Brenda Byman on the other channel, our first case in Missing May. And happy May Day. God bless you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you next time. Please subscribe to both channels.